Good evening. This is 5 Minutes with David. And I'm going to share tonight what I'm going to share. Jesus has said to talk about a continuation from last week. Share from last week was about allowing love. And he had shown me how I had made a decision not to allow the love of God into my mind and into my heart. And, it began with being a 4-year-old with my mother. Well, it actually began before that, but it brought clarity because I could see how it impacted every relationship in my life up to even now. And it was only a few days after that I was asking Jesus what to look at as far as desires. And it was shown through my mighty companion here that this desire not to allow love into my heart, into my mind, the love of God, actually came from a previous dream life where I was betrayed by a woman. And I vowed at that point to never, ever allow a woman to love me again or to allow love again. And that was pretty deep. So asking Jesus what to look at as far as desires, because we always go to the desire first to clear it out. He said it was the desire for betrayal. Desire for betrayal of a woman. And there was retaliation from that too, and rage. And so I spent time looking at the desire for betrayal, and then the next day it was, all right, Jesus, what do you want me to look at now? And it was the desire for rage against the desire for rage against innocence. The desire for rage against affection, the affection of God's love from anyone. And it's something that I've never been comfortable with, even up till now. And he has shown me that because of that experience of betrayal, the ego basically made up the decision in my mind that I would not ever allow love, and I wouldn't allow anything that had to do with love. And that included affection. And then the next day it was, okay, Jesus, what do you want me to look at now? And it was the desire for rage against innocence. My own innocence as a creation of a holy Son of God. And it was hard to accept, but he said, look at, like, we go out into the marketplace here in Mexico, and most people have little kids, infants, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds. And I see these kids, and they're really adorable. I mean, I just, my heart goes out to them. And he said, you can see, and you're willing to see the innocence in a child. But because of the desire for betrayal and your decision for that, the ego wants nothing to do with seeing the innocence in yourself. It won't let you. And so, it became very, very clear that I've blocked out the love of God in my heart and mind my whole life. And going deeper into it, seeing the desires underneath, having rage against the affection of God's love, the innocence of God's love. And we watched a movie last night, The Painted Veil, and it was about a relationship between a husband and wife, and there was betrayal, and there was retaliation because of the betrayal. And we looked today and said, okay, Jesus, what do you want me to look at as far as a desire? And it was the desire for retaliation. And so what's really interesting to me about all of this, and I've been told this along the way, that there's so many desires wound up in this intricate, complicated web of lies in my mind. The desires that are keeping me from remembering my truth. Jesus says, truth will be returned by your desire as it was lost by your desire for something else. So we have to look at the desires, and Jesus says, let me point them out for you. He says consciously selected desires can be misguided. And I have no clue as to which order these desires should be revealed, that I should look at them with him and collaborate. I think I know the way. I know nothing. I am clueless. And he, over the last couple months, has just taken me through this roller coaster ride from one to the next. And I'm thinking, okay, Jesus, should I look at this again? No, let's look at this one first, and then this one. Then we end up coming back to the other one. And it's all done because he knows the combination lock to undo all of them and remove the foundation from them and to allow them to begin to crumble like a house of cards. So it's just interesting. This morning I woke up and I was sideways. Last night I was sideways. And we looked again this morning. Jesus gave us something to look at, and I felt better. And then in our light circle this morning, I shared the experience that I've had and what I've been looking at, and the ego took me sideways again, and joined with Jesus after that and looked at the desire before lunch and released it to a miracle. And I was lighting back up again. So it's just really interesting to watch the ego in action and see the tricks that it's trying to play, the deception, the masterful art of deception that it's trying to use for trickery. And with the collaboration with Mighties and with Jesus, I have the opportunity now to undermine the ego's plan and to quickly go to a healing. And it's just made all the difference in the world. So I'm grateful to my mighty companions and most grateful to Jesus for showing us how to look at desires with his help and release them quickly to miracles. Thank you, Jesus.